Hey, what's going on, everybody? It looks like I have my mic muted. Welcome to the live stream. This is your host, Sam Capizzi, here at Crypto Somniac. Today is January 21st, 2018, and great stuff today. The Eagles just won the NFC Championship game, going back to the Super Bowl for a rematch of the Patriots versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm originally from the Philadelphia Eagle. I'm originally from Philadelphia. So we're going to the Super Bowl, boy. Hell yeah. If anyone's an Eagles fan. What's going on, IBLB? What's going on, Christian Castillo, Dolphin, James Stendham? What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Again, today is January 21st. The market's taking a dip. And today, in today's live video, we're going to cover my top 5 cryptocurrencies that I think are overvalued at this point. And what you could do is, and I'll tell you my opinion on all of them, but if you're interested in getting into one of these cryptos and you haven't, might be a good time to maybe stay clear of them. Also, if you're in them, might be a good time to perhaps take some profits. So we're going to cover my top 5 cryptocurrencies that I think are overvalued at the moment, and we'll answer as many questions as you have. I always need to turn up my volume when I come on. Let's see. I can make myself a little bit louder. Let me, guys, if anyone is having difficulty hearing me, let me know. I can, excuse me, turn up the volume just a little bit if you're having trouble hearing me. So, what is going on, Nazar? What's going on, Trader of Futures? How's it hanging, my cool? What's happening? So, let's get started. So, my first cryptocurrency, Norm Bolduck. You nailed it. Dogecoin. Can you believe Dogecoin is now $1 billion cryptocurrency? Or it was. Sorry. Now it's at 800 million. It was as high as 1 billion. But this has got to be hands down one of the most overvalued cryptocurrencies in my opinion. It was originally created out of a meme. You know, it was created by from a meme, the Dogecoin meme. And let me just take a second to look at it on the charts. Dogecoin BTC. We are almost, let's go to the daily. Let me go to the daily. We are, you know, we're not at all-time highs or anything, but Christ, there are legitimate projects well beyond number 40 in market cap here that have legitimate actual real-world use. I actually do believe there is a little bit, I think there's a country in Africa I actually believe that uses Dogecoin, and it actually functions and works, but if you asked me, does it really deserve $800 million in market cap? At number 40 on CoinMarketCap and my website here, does it really deserve that? I find that to be hard to believe. It's a hard sell for me when you have things under here that are trying to change the world and have great use cases. So for me, I can't see that Dogecoin being a $1 billion crypto where it was a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago even. It was at $1 billion in market cap. That just does not make sense to me. Just does not make sense at all. So I think Dogecoin is number 1. I don't think I'm in any order. In fact, I don't even advise investing into Dogecoin. I'm not invested, but again, it was just created out of a meme, and it's kind of funny. A lot of people hold on to it or held on to it, and it went up a lot recently. You see the charts. We had this major spike, and it's just funny to me. So number 1 is going to be Dogecoin. If we go back to the top of the list, let's see what else. So my second is going to probably be let's say Tron at number 2. So Tron is still $4.6 billion with no actual use case. So, excuse me. I'm still invested in Tron. I think Tron is a great company and has a great roadmap ahead. But I do know that it massively ran up, and I took some profits, and is not a bad crypto by any means. I'm not saying that these are bad projects. I just think it is probably a bit overvalued, even if you look at it here on the daily. So it looks like we may be approaching our bottom. Looks like we are consolidating, which is good. No volume really to speak of, I think, as of recently. Waning volume. Let me add the volume indicator. OBV. Yeah, it's definitely dying off. The volume is really dying, which is not a good sign. But I mean, it's cooling off, and I think it was pretty overvalued, and it did get really massively oversold down here, and it's approaching those levels again. But I still think it's a little overvalued. I think it's gotten a lot of press, a lot of tweets, a lot of just over hype. Not to say anything bad about the project. I think a lot of the naysay will be worked out. I think Tron is actually a legitimate cryptocurrency. I don't think it's a scam. I think there is a lot of potential for it. They're constantly bringing on developers that are real. They came from like Alibaba and a lot of investors from other big companies. And I don't think it's by any means a bad project. I just think right now at $4.6 billion is perhaps a lot. You could even say maybe crypto as a whole is overvalued with no exact use case. But then again, this is a global market. There is a lot going on here. It's not just country specific. So it's difficult to say, is crypto as a whole overvalued? You can say that, or you can and you can't. At the same time, while it has $553 billion invested and not really many use cases yet for crypto, this is a global economy, and there's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars out there. So to say that things are overvalued just because there's no use case is, double-sided there. I think there's two trains of thought there. But just being that Tron has literally a 10-year roadmap and being valued at $4.6 billion, I think is a lot. I think that is a bit hefty in my opinion. So at number 2, we have Tron. Dogecoin and Tron, I think, are a bit overvalued at the moment. However, Tron is approaching those quote-unquote normal levels, I guess you could say, where it might become more affordable. Didn't you predict it to be $1.50? Donate media. Yes, absolutely. So I do think Tron is a great cryptocurrency for the year. Again, I do think it's kind of cooling off, and it's on the cusp there of being a little bit overvalued now. I mean, we were all the way at number 6, and we are tapering off, and I think we could continue to taper off a little bit. But again, like I said, there's kind of two trains of thoughts. Crypto as a whole is very unusable, but at a second thought, it's a global economy. It's not just the New York Stock Exchange here. So there's a lot of people with a lot of money investing from here, there, or there. You have countries from all over the world that can invest in crypto now, which is unlike any market we've ever experienced. So it's kind of double-sided in that sense. So yes, you could argue we don't have any use cases yet, but on the same note, why shouldn't we have $553 billion? Everyone wants to invest in something that has the potential to grow tomorrow. So there's no reason why a lot of these companies don't deserve any recognition or deserve to be invested in. So kind of just two trains of thought there. But Tron is, I guess, number 2 for me in my eyes. At number 3 is Vechain. So I think Vechain is also a fantastic project. Full disclosure, I am invested in it. I think it's one of my favorites out of all the supply chain logistic coins when you talk about Modem, Walton, Vechain, Wabi, etc. However, it's just experienced a massive run-up, partially due to a lot of different things. A lot of partnerships being signed, the rebranding coming up, a lot of great things. But I think that it could be a great time to take profit. And I actually pulled up the chart, and I was looking at it before stream, and I'll go over it right now again. But I think it is a bit overvalued right now. It is pretty high. So it's not a platform yet. They're just kind of a one-off project. It's not like an Ethereum where you can build off of it yet. And I think most of these coins up here are platforms that promise being built on in the future, like Ethereum, Icon, Qtom, Ethereum Classic, Lisk, Neo, EOS, Cardano. Basically 90-85% of these coins in the top 10 or 20 are platforms, and Tron isn't that yet. Now it's still a great, fantastic project, but I really wanted to show you some of the technicals that I saw that actually forced me to take a little bit of profits within the last couple of days. So let me do that. Let me pull up the Venn chart, VEN, BTC, and we'll take a look at it because I think it is quite a bit high. So on the 4-hour, you can see we are in that overbought territory. The MACD is peaking. Looks like we're about to come to a crossing point. And more concerning is even the daily. So you can see we're very, very overbought on the daily. Very, very, very high. And we've been for a while. Now, it does look like it has more room to go up on the daily, but when we zoom into some of these others, here's something that is a little bit of a red flag for me. When I looked at the charts, I saw this. I see this. So this is a classic sign of what we call RSI bearish divergence. And what that means is, and I've cited this before, but this is a bad sign for me for Vechain from the technical standpoint. Again, I'm not speaking anything bad about the company. I think this is a great use case, great idea, and I'm a super big fan of it. But I'm just looking to see how I can profit, how I can make more money off of this. Can I sell Vechain now, buy more back later, add additional Vechain to my portfolio? Or hey, maybe I'm on the outside looking in, maybe I'm not invested into Vechain yet. Is now the best time to get invested? I'm gonna say probably not. Of course, everyone has their own opinions, but let me show you what I see right here. I see this, which is not a good sign. This is called RSI bearish divergence. And what you see right here is price going up and up and up, while the RSI is getting lower and lower highs. This is called RSI bearish divergence, meaning they're going in opposite directions. The RSI is, tapering off with lower and lower highs, and price is rising. And this is a sure tell sign, not a sure tell sign. Do your own due diligence, do your own TA. But I think that so ST, great, yes. Vechain also did pass its first cryptocurrency disaster recovery plan, and let me share more on that Vechain Twitter, which is great and might be partially due to some of the good price action we've seen in Vechain recently. But I think it could be a good time to take profit, and I did. I took a little bit of profit, and I think that and now is a good time. And I do know, I agree, Shyam, TA in crypto doesn't always work. It's double-sided. There's definitely news to stay on top of, and there's definitely a TA technical portion to it. I don't think it always applies. You guys are totally right. But in my opinion, does Vechain deserve to be at number 20 right now? It is very overbought on some of these. You do have to couple all of this together. And there has been a lot of great news coming out. They have like you mentioned, the disaster recovery plan. They're rebranding. They've partnered with a bunch of companies. And that is probably due to why there's so much price action. The news is it's very news driven here. But I think it's an opportunity for you to maybe sell and get back in cheaper and acquire more Vechain. I think there's a lot of great stuff coming out, and it is very news driven, and it's going up in price as a result. And the technicals coupled with that kind of show you that I think we are a little bit overbought. Again, you can use your own discretion at these, but I just think it's valued a little bit high, and I think it will come back down. Everything usually has its turn to go up, and it comes back down, corrects, and you have a chance to buy back in sooner. And we've been traveling in this great channel here, and I just feel like it's time for it to cool off. I mean, look, it's been parabolic, no signs of really any kind of decrease here for a while, and we have been traveling in kind of like, let me draw two lines here. We have this one that we've kind of bounced off of many times right there. And then we are kind of traveling in a new channel now. We're traveling in this new one. Let me delete that one. And now we're in here. And it's a very tight squeeze. Very tight squeeze. We've seen a lot. And let me draw this channel out all the way. Had a little bit of a blip there, but you can see we're traveling, and we really went exponential these last couple days, traveling inside of this second new channel here. And I think it's a little bit overbought. Now they had the disaster recovery plan, which is designed to well, let me read it here. Considering the unique and special attributes of crypto, Vechain Foundation has designed the world's first cryptocurrency disaster recovery plan. The criteria of this plan had to ensure a large volume of daily transactions in large amounts, as well as the key lifecycle management controls from standards to comply with the large needs of enterprise users and meet regulatory requirements. In the disaster plan, the foundation has defined different types of threat scenarios based on its severity and likelihood. Type 1, adverse event. Adverse events are observable occurrences in a system or network with a negative consequence. Things such as loss of exchange account login passwords, system crashes, detection of viruses. Type 2, security incidents, things related to system privileges, devices store digital wallets are affected by virus or malware. And then type 3, private key compromise, compromising of your private keys, natural disaster or man-made disasters that could cause significant direct impact on the security and integrity to digital wallets or private keys. So the foundation uses 2 types of storage methods, hot wallets for daily operations and frequent expenditures, and the rest is stored in cold wallets. If you guys are interested in reading this was taken directly from their Twitter, but I think that Vechain again is a little bit overbought. Oh, I'm sorry, overbought. Yeah, and if we look at it on the 4-hour, let me look at the 4-hour. MACD again is quite high. Could we go up a little bit more? Maybe, but the 2-hour right here is a good sign to me, or a good indicator that this is a little bit overbought. Again, this is RSI bearish divergence. When you have the RSI tapering off lower and lower highs, all while price is increasing, and you can see that. So that's a little bit of a red flag for me. Might be a good time to take some profit if you're on the sidelines and you're not invested into Vechain. Despite being a great project, might be a good time to consider waiting. So let's see, what are your guys' comments? Let me read some of them. Yeah, the charts don't mean anything. That's why things can go 2 to 5x overnight. Totally agree. Totally agree. People like you get other people's hopes up. Learn what you're talking about before acting like you know what you have no clue. Great comment. BTC, the original shitcoin BTC blockchain Explorer transactions are like browsing the Internet Explorer 1.0. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that, man. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been very slow recently, and a lot of stuff going on. What percentage would you take profit on? ST asks. I guess it's all up to you. I recommend when I take profit, I usually take it in laddered positions. I might take 25% off of the table. If it were to raise to another significant level, say we reached $10 in Vechain. Right now we're floating around the $8 mark. If we were to reach maybe $10, I would take another 25%. Or maybe you are a 30-30-30 guy or a 10-10-10 guy. But it all depends. So I think that you can, take a little bit of profit. Maybe it's a quarter of your position in Vechain right now. It's not a bad time. I do think it's pretty high, and we probably will come down. Could we go higher before we come back down? Maybe. Everything usually always corrects, and it cools off for a little bit. I don't see us going back down to these levels, say here, but if this is the top, I'd use a lot of things like Fibonacci retracements to tell me when might be a good time to get back in, and I think that, we'll see that coming. So I think that it's now could be a pretty good time to take profit off of Vechain. So that's just my opinion. And we do take one-on-one appointments. If anyone's ever interested, you can go to our website and book an appointment with Snay or I. We offer 100% money-back guarantee. If you're not ever satisfied at all, feel free to let us know at the end of the call. We're always happy to refund people that we can't help. We've never had one, actually, so hopefully we stay 100 for 100. So consider that. If you'd love to learn anything, we can answer questions on technical analysis, portfolio guidance, things we've done in the past, ICOs coming up, you name it. Zach Shaw asks, is the market correction related to the shutdown of the government? Now, that's potentially. I think so. I think there's been a lot of correlation, and we've talked about our opinions. If you're part of the Cryptosomniac Advantage, we shared a little bit of our opinions and thoughts on that. I do think it has partially due to that. Sorry, I actually know. Is the market correction related to the government shutdown of the government? I actually thought the inverse. So I thought that the other day we experienced a small spike in crypto, and it was partially due to perhaps the fact of the government shutdown. There's always, it seems, there's a lot of points in history where either the stock market is doing very poorly and crypto's going up, or the government shutdown, for example, happened a couple of days ago. Crypto spiked a little bit. We had a 10-20% increase in a lot of things the other day. I actually think that during turmoil, government corruption, stock market crashes, weakening of the dollar is actually a good thing for crypto, not a bad thing. I actually tend to believe, and now we have not experienced a depression or something like 2008 or a downturn in the stock market since crypto's been around. But a lot of people, including myself, tend to think that during those times, during the next potential disaster, depression, etc., that you could see crypto do extremely well. It could be the catalyst which further propels a lot of these things. I really feel that way. So there's a lot of little examples in history. Like I said, we haven't experienced a depression or that, but there's a lot of examples in history where you can see crypto doing, or the stock market doing poorly, and crypto conversely doing very well. And there's a lot of examples of that. So I don't believe that the government shutdown actually had a bad correlation to crypto. I actually think it's a good thing. Now, truth be told, thank you so much for the $5. You donated $5. INS, where do you see this? Where do you see this going in a year? So INS, let's take a look. Now, I don't think it's available to chart on the charts on Coinigy. It is a bit new. Oh, it is. That's awesome. Now, there's virtually no technicals. You can see it right here. There's really nothing to chart. We can zoom in on the hourly, and there's just nothing to really chart. So what I'll do is let's pull it up on my website and have a look-see on its current price. And it is trading at around $5, a little over, at 140 in coin market cap, with a market cap of 151 mil. Now, what I like to do, where I think the end of the year could take us, let's take a brief look at the roadmap. INS, what is it called? INS ICO. I don't know what the website's called. INS.world. Now, if I could just get a fresh reminder of the roadmap and all the pieces as to where and when things are coming online. Now, I think INS is a great project. I'm a big fan of the fact that there's a small token supply. I think it was an excellent project with a great idea. In fact, there is a lot of great partnerships being established. Ambrosis, Civic, Wings, Banker, a lot of people from a lot of great, well-respected companies, which I love to see. Let me take a look. They're beta projects, so consumers will shop on the website. Beta. Looks like the beta is already out. But where is the roadmap? Roadmap, here it is. So, Q3 of 2018, development of the INS platform, development of the INS consumer and app. So they're not launching till later in the year. So I think that, I mean, this is like most projects, but there's some projects actually that are coming online earlier in the year, middle of the year. So I think we may not see a ton of action on INS till later in the year when we get closer to that guy right there. But I think this could easily be $1 billion project by the year's end. Could actually be $1 billion project by year's end. So that means we could about, what is that? About 10 divided by 1.5. I'm blanking on math right here. 10 divided by 1.5 is around a 6 to 7x return times, let's just say, $6. I could see INS being a $40 to $50 cryptocurrency by the end of the year. I could definitely see that. So that's the short and long answer to that. Now, Doc Wicked donated $5 to the channel. Thank you very much for reading, participating. We do, of course, love to read the chat. We always try to answer you guys' questions. Thanks for actually reading the chat. Thanks for actually donating and supporting the stream. We definitely support, definitely are happy to have you support the channel. David Kristen donated $10 as well. If you had to liquidate your entire portfolio into 4 crypto projects and couldn't touch it for 5 years, what would they be? That's a great question. That is a great question. Hands down, Bitcoin and Ethereum. No questions asked. Hands down, no questions asked. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, it's the other two that are the tricky, I think. So what are the other two? What are the other two? So this is a tricky question, but there's one that immediately comes to mind, which has just been a great project and been around for a while. And I'll be honest, it may not be the sexiest of answers, but I think it is. It's got a it's the safe answer. You know, you want to lock your portfolio up for 5 years and not touch it. I'm going to have to say Monero. Monero has tried and true been one of the best security, privacy, fungible, non-fungible cryptocurrencies out there, with one of the best teams, widely agreed upon. I was watching a bit of Fluffy Pony's presentation actually in Miami, in the Miami conference recently, and it was pretty good. It was really good. I'd recommend anyone to go watch it. I believe it's online. Monero's been around for several years now, and it's been tried and tested, and it's a bug bounty of it. I think it's $500,000 if you can break Monero's code and kill it, get inside, hack funds, etc. I think Monero is very, very solid, and it has been very stable, which is also good. I like to see that when we're talking about projects that, you know, longevity, will they be here in several years? I think Monero has that type of potential. So that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be a bit trickier. Number four, to be honest, I'm going to say it's just one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, and this is a bit tricky because it is so new, and I don't really like to do this on things that are so new, but I'm going to say Cardano. I've spent a lot of time researching Cardano and just watching all of Charles Hoskinson's videos, and I feel that him setting up the treasury that they're trying to set up by basically the treasury is being built with the purpose of keeping Cardano around long term, so that even if Charles isn't directing the future vision of the world and the plan that Cardano has, they could vote other people into positions and kind of rule him out and get him out of the project. And I really think that says a lot for a cryptocurrency. It's something that most 99% of cryptocurrencies aren't setting up. And I think the treasury system will help establish the longevity of Cardano going forward. Now, it is a bit riskier in my eyes when I compare it to Monero, Bitcoin, and Ethereum as far as concerned in the longevity aspect of it. So, then again, I think the treasury aspect of it is fantastic. So I'm going to go with Cardano at number 4. Monty Werle donated $5 to the channel. Thank you so much. You guys rock. I appreciate it. How do you think futures contracts expiring on the 26th affects Bitcoin's price? Now, again, Bitcoin's futures are you're betting against futures contracts, and you're not actually betting on the underlying asset Bitcoin. So from that kind of standpoint, I don't think there's any long-term impact on Bitcoin. Now, this could have a short-term effect on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to rock in this $9,000 to $12,000 region for the next several weeks, several days, and it will pick back up and it will be aggressive. And this is very typical. There's been a lot of historical analysis showing you that this happens a lot in the early beginning of the year. There's a number of things. A lot of people in the U.S. tend to take profits in the new year, so they don't have to worry about taxing it until the following year. A lot of companies and establishments, I think, are trying to put tools in place right now to invest large amounts of money into crypto. I'm talking like financial institutions, etc. So I think crypto will come roaring back. Bitcoin specifically will come roaring back and will do very well. And spring has always treated Bitcoin very well. This whole February to April timeframe historically has been very good for Bitcoin and crypto, namely Bitcoin, because a lot of these altcoins haven't been here the previous springs. Altcoins just within the past year to two have become really popular. So just specifically, Bitcoin has done very well in previous February to March timeframe. So I think in the short term, we will bounce back around in this area here, but I think now is the time to accumulate Bitcoin. If you have any spare fiat, it's a great time to start laddering in orders. Now, Tenisachi, hopefully I'm saying that right, donated $10 to the channel, and I appreciate it. Wager, from your experiencing with the company, what's your opinion on the team and project? They seem to have a niche and small market cap, so I may invest. Now, I'm usually not, and it's public information here, I'm not a huge investor into the gambling type platforms. However, I do have a little bit of a thing for sports. I definitely enjoy sports, and Wager focuses not on casino games, but they are based and geared towards what's it called? Sports betting, head-to-head betting. And one of the coolest things I think that they're trying to develop is head-to-head against. You can bet against the blockchain eventually, which is going to be pretty neat. From what I know and saw, I kind of like it. The team, however, I think is could be better. Could be better. You know, I wouldn't bet all my eggs in one basket. The idea, it's an ICO. It's one of the first ICOs I've ever participated in. And I'll be honest, back when I participated, I didn't do as much research as I do now. However, I am looking forward to running one of my first master nodes on it because I have enough to conduct or run a master node. And the idea has a little special, you know, meaning to me. I do like sports. And when I do bet, it's more like sports as opposed to, say, you know, blackjack or poker. I'm just not a big casino guy. I've probably spent $500-600 my entire life at the casino. Nothing spectacular. So sports gambling, I think, is kind of interesting. So could be an interesting pickup. But let me get back to the presentation that I was going through. So we went through 3 cryptocurrencies that I think are overvalued right now. I think 1, Vechain, 2 is Dogecoin, and 3 is Tron. And let me think about my number 4. And by the way, hit that thumbs up button, guys. Hit that likes button if you're happy with the content. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you're at, hit that thumbs up button. Hit that likes button. Wait, hit that thumbs up. By the way, we have launched the Cryptosomniac Advantage. A lot of great content being shared in there. If you're interested in the Cryptosomniac Advantage, head over to our website and click the Cryptosomniac Advantage right here, or head over to the products page, and you'll get a 14-day free trial, access to all the information and reports. And if you choose to upgrade, you'll receive access to the Moon Lounge, where you have 24/7 access to my team and everyone else participating in the community. How about your thoughts on Digibyte? Brent Jurla asks. I have a friend that is a huge fan of Digibyte, constantly trying to get me involved into Digibyte. I don't think it's a bad project. There is probably better options, in my opinion. I'm definitely more of an investor into the platforms than I am into cryptos and currencies and projects. But I definitely think it's an interesting project. Is everyone able to hear me fine? Is everyone able to hear me fine? By the way, share our recent video over on Facebook and Twitter for a chance to win some free cryptocurrency. But let's move on. What is the 4th? Number 4 is Verge. Number 4 is Verge. So I actually am not a fan of Verge. I thought Verge was literally a shit coin. And I still think it's not a very good coin. I think there's a lot of confusing information out there. The fact that it's ran over Tor, to me, is just not a selling point to me. Integrated Tor. You can literally use Bitcoin over Tor and basically have the same thing that Verge is. I just find Tor integration to not be a strong selling point to me, and that is their strong, unique selling point. Integrated Tor. They don't have ring signatures. There's a rich list on Verge. You can see the amounts being transferred and sent in transactions. It's, in my eyes, nothing compared to Monero when you talk about security, privacy, and fungible money. You can use Monero over Tor. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I really feel that Verge is overvalued. It's at $1.5 billion. There's coins under it that are like way better, in my opinion. You know, Dragon Chain. There's just a ton of better coins. And despite, even if even if Verge was a legitimate cryptocurrency, maybe I haven't done my full due diligence and research, and maybe I'm speaking out of my ass here, but even if it is, I think there's a lot better value cryptocurrencies over there. It's had that massive run up, and even if it were a good coin, I still think it's overvalued. I still think it has room to break and fall down here. I really don't think it deserves a spot here on this top 30 list. So even if you're still an investor in it and you think, you know, you are a believer in that, then there's no reason why you I still think it's overvalued. I mean, if you want to hold it and continue to hodl it, that's totally fine, but I do think it's overvalued. I think there's a lot better projects at the moment with a lot better use case that deserve a valuation higher than the 25 over there. Your live video title is wrong over on Twitter. Let me check that out. Let's check out, what is our title over on Twitter? We are Oh, you're right. The title is wrong. Darn it. It's unfortunate. You can't change titles when you're live on Twitter. I do apologize for that. That is a bummer. That's a bummer. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Can't win them all. Thanks for pointing that out, though. What are your current thoughts on Wabi? We'll talk about Wabi in a minute. Let me talk about my fifth coin. So we went through 4 so far. We have Tron, we have Verge, we have Vechain, and we have what was number 4? I'm blanking. We had Tron, we had Vechain, we had Verge, and oh, Dogecoin. Okay. Number 5 is, what is number 5? What is number 5? My 5th most overvalued cryptocurrency. Boy, it's tough. There's a couple here. In my opinion, why don't we just pick a couple? Why don't, for number 5, I'll just pick a couple and I'll briefly state why I think they're a bit overvalued. I think Cardano could be a little bit overvalued with 0 use cases, not able to build anything off of its platform. It is the highest rated platform out there that you cannot build off of right now. Ethereum is number 1, obviously, but at least you can build off of Ethereum. You can't build yet off of Cardano. I think Cardano is a fantastic project, one of my top projects in my portfolio, but I think that it's perhaps a bit overvalued. Number 2, for runner-up at number 5, could be EOS. They're seeking to raise $1 billion in their ICO, which is definitely questionable to me. Of course, they're a huge game changer in the industry, so, you know, but there's a lot of speculation there. You know, $8.3 billion of speculation. Is it really that much? I don't know. Project's not coming out till June. Doc Wicked donated $5 to the channel. Thanks a lot. Asking, you know, what do I think about the platform launching in June? It'll be extremely exciting. And you know what? When Cardano and when Charles Hodgkinson is live with us a week from today on the air, I'd love to get his thoughts on EOS, Cardano, the scaling solutions to both. There's an interesting article on the internet that Dan Larimer wrote about EOS and Cardano. I'd love to hear his thoughts and opinions. I think Cardano and EOS both have a lot to prove in that regard. Their platform's supposed to launch in June, and their ICO will end. I think there's a lot to prove, and it's definitely a project I'm keeping a close eye on. I do think it's a bit high, but, you know, kind of a runner up there. It'll be interesting. I'll definitely be watching. And maybe at number 3 is perhaps Rayblox even. Rayblox gained massive popularity with all the Bitcoin transaction fees and delays and all the chains. So Rayblox was, you know, hot coin of the week there, hot coin of the month for a little bit. And it's cooling off. So could be another coin out there that is a bit overvalued. So to round out number 5, I think that's going to be Rayblox, EOS, and maybe Cardano. Again, a lot of these are double-sided. So I said, you know, things are overvalued, but how can you say overvalued when, you know, this is a global market and there's a lot of money out there. There's trillions and trillions of dollars. And then on the other side of the equation, you have a lot of projects that don't have any use case. So it's a double-edged sword when we talk about overvalued there, but just my opinions. Now, if I take profits from Vechain, Mark Bronsaforte asks and donates $5 to the channel. Thanks very much for supporting us, by the way. He donated $5 and asks, what should I get into in short term before the rebranding that looks good from a technical standpoint? There's a couple coins out there right now that are cheap that I think may be due for a pop. I think IOTA is one of them. I think Bitcoin, to be honest, taking profit into Bitcoin right now is not the worst idea ever. I think Bitcoin could run up and we could see this BTC dominance come back to a level that is a bit higher than where we've been recently. So IOTA, Bitcoin might not be too bad. I think QTUM has taken a big hit recently. QTUM's a great project that I think is maybe a bit undervalued. I think OMG is a fantastic project that is destined to pop within the next several months. There's a couple of good options. OMG, Bitcoin, IOTA, some of these things that have been sitting quietly. Litecoin, maybe. A lot of things have been sitting quiet here for the past several weeks and could be decent opportunities to get into different things. Let's take a look at some of the questions. Is NEM overvalued? To be honest, NEM has just been one of those coins that's been in the top 10 and kind of goes unquestioned. To be honest, I am kind of victim of one of those people too. It's kind of just there and haven't really ever looked into it a lot. They're not big on art marketing or advertising. Had a chance to see the CEO present a couple months ago here in Los Angeles. Not a bad project. I'll be honest, I'm just going to stay away from commenting on them. It's just not one of those projects that super excited me and not one that I follow closely, but it's interesting. Interesting that it's so high up there. Thoughts on XRB in relation to hitting Binance soon, Peter Ingram asks. Could be good, could be bad. We've seen a lot of things happen both ways. Something gets listed on Binance, boom, it spikes temporarily for literally just minutes and then comes crashing back down. So keep an eye out on anything that gets added to Binance. I think you usually see pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff happen to coins that get added for just a few moments when they get added to Bitcoin or Binance, and then they come crashing back down. By the way, we do have the CryptoSomniac Advantage available now. Go over. We have a 14-day free trial. No reason why everyone shouldn't at least try it. I see a lot of questions on some different cryptos that we've addressed inside of the lounge, so I'm going to reserve some of that for that. We'll talk about them in a couple days here on the channel, but there's definitely some new picks that we've covered in the CryptoSomniac Advantage, which we kind of want to leave to be a little bit more exclusive to the people in the CryptoSomniac Advantage. Sam, are you familiar with the NEM mainnet faucet? You literally spin a wheel and get free NEM and have a chance at prizes. No, I'm actually not familiar with it. Like I said, NEM is just one of those things that's gone under the radar and haven't done like a ton of research on it. It's unfortunate because it has been there in the top 10 for quite some time, but it's one of those platforms I feel that it just doesn't have a ton of marketing or advertising to it. Maybe it is undervalued and unspoken about, or what have you, but it's not something that I know a ton about. If I sign up, do you guys answer questions I have about certain cryptos? Yes, we are available 24/7. Our team and I, we have a lot of people participating, answering questions. Our team is always in there answering questions. There's a great opportunity to share your thoughts, ask other people questions, and you can do all of that inside the group. What about Substratum? I think Substratum is definitely an interesting use case. I have been following more of the platforms in Gen 3 cryptos recently, so Substratum hasn't been up there for me, but $5 donated by Lanchin Casares. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Walton, is Walton on a big run? So let's take up a look of Walton. Walton sitting at $30. Wow, that's great. Walton hasn't moved in a while. Let's take a look at the Walton chart. Walton is, let's look at the daily. Walton was sitting quiet for the longest time. It was one of the last few things to pop, and it is making a bit of a run recently. On the 4-hour, looking decent. On the 2-hour, about to cross. On the 1-hour, we are getting higher and higher low. This also isn't the best sign for me. We have that. This is RSI bearish divergence, where we have price slightly increasing while RSI tapering off. But Walton was sitting quiet for a while. I mean, when we stretch this out and look more at the daily, Walton was sitting quiet and was a good time to get in down here. And we've had this big run up. This might be one of those projects you want to keep an eye out on and maybe take a little bit of profits if you were one of those people that got in down here. But it has, you're right, it has been on a run recently. And what's interesting to note also is a lot of coins run together. So Vechain doing very well, of course, recently. A lot of these coins that are in the supply chain logistics arena do well, it seems, together. a lot of things do well that are similar together. We have things like decentralized exchanges, the exchanges in general. You know, you could take a look at Wabi. Wabi over the past, if we look at the daily, there's just not a lot of history there, but doing well over the past several weeks. Daily doing pretty well. We have Modem. I think MOD is Modem. Modem doing very well in general over the past, you know. So, hey Sam, any thoughts on IoT chain? So we did talk about IoT chain in the Moon Lounge, and I will reserve my comments for those guys since they did pay for that, and we'll talk about it here maybe on air in a couple of days once it is a little bit older. Magic disappearing, buy and sell walls with Walton. You must have heard that Internet Note Token is China's version of IOTA, so what do you think of INT? Again, I have to reserve those thoughts for those as part of the CryptoSomniac Advantage. If you want to know what I think about INT, subscribe to the CryptoSomniac Advantage right here, and you'll know exactly what I think about INT. We'll talk about it here on the channel in a couple days. Do you think Ether will sink to the high 800s? Potentially. Potentially. Let's take a look at the Ether chart. ETH/BTC is... It's a bit high in terms of BTC price now. Now, let me draw a Fibonacci retracement and just see. Let's see. Let's take a look. You know, I do feel we could, let me go back, sorry, in ETH USD. Let's chart it in terms of US dollars. Let's chart it from back here to up there. To be honest, could I see ETH getting back to the $800 level? Honestly, yeah, I could. I could. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely a possibility here. This is what I see. You know, I see we could go back to the 700 level, and I think that wouldn't be unexpected given the big run up we've had recently. No questions. We could head back to 700. You know, we've had a great run up recently. Do I think it will? I think we get back to the 800s. I do. I think we do, to answer your question. Opinions on Lisk. I think Lisk is a great platform. I like Lisk a lot. I definitely think Lisk is pretty good. They have their rebranding coming up. Know anything about ICO Storica? They want to be the next Amazon. No, I haven't heard of it. I'm going to write some of these down. So I've heard about Storica. Someone keeps asking about Self-Key. I'm going to take a look at those. Hopefully I'll have more information for you. Please feel free to ever comment on the videos with recommendations for things to look at. If I ever don't know, there's a lot of cryptos out there, and I try to stay knowledgeable, or at least have someone on my team help inform me when there's a lot of projects that I can't stay on top of. So if there is anything that I need to look at, always, I'm glad when you guys shout it out and I don't know it. So thank you for, you know, all of the information and thoughts. I appreciate it. Share this video for a chance to win some free cryptocurrency. In fact, let me share, give away some winner free crypto for our last person to share our video yesterday or 2 days ago. We actually took a day off yesterday. So 1 for Facebook and 2 for Twitter. You guys know how it works. So 2 for Twitter. I feel like we get way more Twitters, but our video on Friday was right here. Bitcoin bull market back. No, didn't we make a video before that? Am I wrong? What was our last video on? Let me go back to YouTube real fast and double check. What was our last video? I thought we did one after that, but I could be wrong. No, that was it. 2 days ago. That's it. So Bitcoin bull market. Retweet for some free crypto. We have 129 retweets, and we usually only get to see 25 of them in this list here. So we pick a number between 1 and 25. So let's do that. And lucky number 7. So let's go back to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rosman Belovich, hopefully I said that right, is the winner of some free crypto League of Legends player. That's awesome. Crypto, Hearthstone, CSGO player. Those are all awesome games. So we'll save that information, Roman. And thank you for sharing our content. You just won yourself some free cryptocurrency. Thank you for sharing. All you guys have to do to be eligible tomorrow to win some free crypto is share this video. We give away free crypto here every day. Let's ask just answer a couple more questions. Can you take a look at Bitclave and Singularity Net? So I don't know what Singularity Net is, but I can take a look at Bitclave. That's interesting. Not on my website yet. We'll have to update our sheets and get these in the system. Bitclave, cat at number 221. I think it's interesting. It's tapering off, waning off. Good time to buy. Ladder in your orders. It's going to be interesting to see where the floor is. I think it's an interesting use case competing with Brave and Google Ads and search engines of the like. I think it is an interesting use case. It is very small in market right now at only 66 million, so could be a good play. What else? I gotta end the stream here soon. I gotta get myself some water. I should have brought some water for the channel. My throat is starting to get a little dry here. Let's take a look. Is there any questions on Twitch? If you are watching this on Twitch, let's see if there's any questions. I don't see any. What else? Anything else? So let's take a look. Yes, good starting point. If you want to schedule a one-on-one, you want to learn a little bit more about charting, we go over those in our courses here. We show you how to get invested into cryptocurrency and everything in my video course. You learn about everything you need to know about cryptocurrency. You learn how to chart, invest in cryptos, invest in ICOs. You can schedule a one-on-one with me, all money back guaranteed, both of those. And you also have the Crypto Somniac Advantage, which you guys can try for free for 14 days. No reason as to why you shouldn't at least give it a shot. We share a lot of great information. Thoughts on the lending platforms? Daryl Thompson asks. I'm not the biggest fan of lending, I'll be honest. I like to stick to what I know, and I recommend you guys do the same. I'll be honest, I was not a big background in business or finance. I've definitely have a lot of business skills that I've learned, but I'm an engineer, so I like industrial use cases. I like things that have social impact because that's just what I like and studied. So I feel more comfortable investing in those types of cryptos that I know about. And I'll just be honest, I'm not a gambler. I don't do lending. I'm not an expert when it comes to margin trading or options. So I just stick away from lending and gambling type cryptocurrencies for the most part. It's just not a region or area that I'm very comfortable with or know a lot about. So that's kind of my opinions on Salt and ETH lens. I just don't know enough about them, so nothing against them. They might be good. I just don't necessarily know a good one from a bad one because I just haven't spent a lot of time in my life learning about them. So I stick to things like platforms and things with societal impact, engineering better futures for society. I don't know, all these different types of things. And I'm like I love like Tesla, for example, and what's his name, Elon Musk. So I don't know, those are kind of the things I like. I'm not like I don't follow what JP Morgan and Chase are doing when it comes to finance and lending and all. You know what I'm saying. I just stick to what I know. So STN coin. What is STN? That rings a bell. What is STN? No, it doesn't. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about this coin. It's very small, only 2 million market cap, man. That's a tricky one, dude. I would stay away. That's very, very small. That usually raises a little bit of a red flag. That's scary. So I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that. Best cloud sharing. I don't know. There's a couple competitors. You got Saya, you got Storage, you got MadeSafe. I can't say a great one. Well, I keep seeing this question. Thoughts on GVT? We love GVT here on the channel. I definitely think it's a great crypto. A lot of great proponents behind it. And why didn't that come up? GVT. There we go. Trading at $20. Very, very, very small market cap. Could easily be a $400 or $500 crypto. trading on Binance and KuCoin. Massively run up, but then it came back down into some reasonable levels here. So could be a decent chance to pick some up. Definitely a fan of it in the long term. Aaron Diamond. Hey, Sam, just tuning in and we'll backtrack when I get a chance. But have you commented on masternodes yet or plan to make a video on them? I saw a comment in one of your flash updates about it. Yes, we would love to do a video on things such as residual income, staking, and I think masternodes falls under that category as well. So I'd love to do a video just dedicated towards how to earn residual income in the crypto markets. And I definitely will, I'll try to get that done this week and put together some material that I think will be interesting. So I think that's going to round out the stream here for today. Share this video for a chance to win some free cryptocurrency tomorrow. Head over to cryptosomniac.com to become a new member of the Cryptosomniac Advantage, which you can try today. 14 days free. Tell me if you like it. Tell me what you think. Always appreciate your feedback. And thank you guys all for tuning in. So remember, stay a Cryptosomniac because the markets never sleep, and neither should we. Talk to you guys all very soon.